Yeah, we're back. Okay, listen, here's the thing. Here's the problem. Okay. Because the actual issue I have with this game is that they have set up a mystery, right? A mystery that at the end of this game is going to be unraveled, right? And with something like this, I mean, really, they've set up several different mysteries, because every case is a mystery, but there's also a larger overarching mystery. And the thing that you would expect is that as the trial continues, more of the mystery will be slowly unfolded, right? And that the interest would be like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what's going to come next, right? But so much of it is not actually unfolding anything. It's just doing the same bit over and over again. And then eventually, finally, you get these moments of unfolding it. But the stuff leading up to that just kind of sucks. Because the other appeal of doing the bit over and over again, right? Or having this kind of back and forth thing of like, oh, how are we going to get Kira to open up? The interest of that would be if the bit is fun or interesting or funny. As if it's not like... I understand, it's a game for children. Except it's not. It's for teenagers, apparently. It's a game for teenagers. And so, yes, the idea that, like, oh, you really kind of need to, you know... There's kind of fun in just like, oh, how are we going to do it, blah, blah, blah. But that isn't fun. I'm not having fun with that part of it. Because I already figured it out, that part. Darklaw is obviously the Great Witch from the forest. And so, obviously, that's why Kira won't do anything. Maybe there's literal mind control involved. Maybe it's just, like, you know, vibes, right? But it isn't fun enough to justify the lack of unfolding of the mystery. And I think, at least with the other cases, they're smaller mysteries you can slowly unfold, right? You get more info on Amir. You get more info on... the best character, by the way. Yeah, Amir. You get more info on some of the other weirdos and stuff and freaks. The problem is that for this one, the mystery of this one is the mystery of the whole thing. And so, they are still, like, fucking...
They're not enough
in the
freaks.
last few hours of this... Last hour, I hope. Jesus. But, like, the last few hours of this whole game, they have still told us essentially nothing about the main mystery. Like, you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, we basically know that Darklaw carried Aspella and that Kira was also up there.
But, I mean...
End of list.
Right, like, earlier in this game... Right, exactly. With Layton making a bunch of bullshit spells pass. At the beginning, at a very early point in this game, here's what we knew. Aspella is the storyteller's daughter. That was midway through, okay? I'll give him that. But earlier than that, what we knew is the Great Witch Bazella set fire to the town. Okay? This legendary fire a long time ago. Now she's back to fuck with everyone again. And, like... the witches have to be killed until finally we get her. And everyone thinks Aspella is Bazella. Right? I want to ask you. The game text. The text of the game. Right? What the game has unfolded for us about that mystery. What do we know more than that?
That the cat is involved. I don't know.
The game isn't saying that, though. We're just inferring that, because we're smart.
That's true.
And, you know, like, how is the cat involved? Like...
I think the cat is the witch. I think the cat
well, obviously the cat's the witch. Oh, like, listen. Obviously the cat is the witch. This is incredibly... Like, yes. You're 100% right. Anyway. Thank you.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Let's keep going.
This,
I'm sorry. I just need
no,
to be
that's
like,
okay. That's okay.
This is my issue with it.
No, bad game. You gotta. It's a bad game.
Yeah. Why would you at any point think Aspella was Bazella if she gets hit up by Bazella? Nobody's game successfully red herring another person to be Bazella. No. Oh, it's not. Maybe Aspella? Yeah. 100%. They've never done anything to make me think Aspella is Bazella just fully. Yeah.
What about calling her Aspilla and making it rhyme with Bazilla?
See, that's just what they want you to think. With their clever things like Darklaw and Carmine Accidenti. They're trying to get you. That's
Okay,
the
this game sucks,
at
but the
its
names rule.
That's extremely true. Alright.
Okay.
Shades live outside the realm of those who dwell within Labyrinthia. To them, I am known as the Great Witch. Those that are put to the flames in the witch trials become shades, who live their lives in the woods.
We exist to carry out tasks given to us by our mistress, the Great Witch herself. I am not a witch, nor am I a wandering spirit.
What on earth? High Inquisitor Darklaw! Do you mean to say that not only are you a witch, but that you're the Great Witch?
Unbelievable! Lady Darklaw's the Great Witch.
The Great Witch? Doesn't that mean she's Bazilla?
That's right, Lady Darklaw's Bazilla.
I do hope that you have not forgotten what we established only moments ago. It is not possible for Miss Darklaw to be Bazilla. But, Inquisitor Layton, surely the testimony just now proves it. I'm afraid that in the heat of such revelations, you've all misheard the information. 'Tis pointless. This is the extent of what the people of this town will believe. I believe the truth will become clear during our cross-examination. Don't you agree, Mr. Wright? Defender, you may begin your interrogation. Okay, so I was trying to figure out why they had made the name of the Great Witch, the same as Great Witch Bazilla, and this is why. Okay, at least we have a reason.
Yeah.
In protest of the game, I'm only using hint coins now.
I'm so happy.
Oh, also, all of this that she just gave, no new information for us, the player.
Hold it!
Great Witch?
Yes, that's right. However, I am not Bazilla. The mistress to those who dwell in the Eldritch Woods is dubbed the Great Witch. Even if I wanted to be Bazilla, I couldn't. As the ever so charming Inquisitor stated earlier, I cannot use magic. Miss Darklaw, I have one question. What do you mean by live outside the realm? I mean just that, Inquisitor. We truly do live in a realm separate from this town. Now surely one as intelligent as yourself has worked out the answer by now, no? Perhaps. That remains to be seen, Miss Darklaw. Regardless, tis something we cannot discuss with anyone. But it is something that the defense should be able to prove.
That almost sounds like a challenge. By the way, Miss Darklaw, since you're not actually a witch, why do you continue to be called that?
To answer that, I must first discuss the true identity of the Shades. Okay, we're just supposed to press an order. Got it, okay.
So you're saying that the Kira here right now is the shade version of the Kira from before?
Indeed, Defender. The girl has no recollection of her life prior to living in those woods. What manner of witchery is this? Why, this girl, Kira, the flower seller, was cast straight to the flames before our very eyes.
That's right, Your Honor. But as you can see, she didn't die. You see, there's actually a trick to the incineration device in the witch's court.
A trick?
Once the verdict has been delivered, the court attendants move the steel cage into position, after which it seals shut.
I hate.
Pew, pew, pew.
I hate listening to exposition we already know.
Pew,
It's one of my
pew,
most
pew.
hated things in any piece of
Then the
media.
cage is dropped into a pit of fire. The bottom of the cage then opens, allowing the witch inside to escape unharmed into an underground passage.
If what you're saying is true, Defender, then what of the town's witch purging history? What has been the purpose of all of this? You and the knights have indeed been ridding Labyrinthia of witches. However, nary a single life has been taken in the process. That is the reality. But I wanted to kill. You cannot truly expect me to believe such a ridiculous notion. Your Honor, it's true. Take a good hard look. It doesn't get any more alive than this. Ah, it's you. I am May. What?
He got her name wrong.
Well, it's actually Maya Fey, your forgetfulness.
What the heck are you doing? Everyone's gonna recognize you.
Yeah, but seeing is believing, Nick. Now they have to believe you. Do you see? Are you satisfied? All those found guilty in the witch trials lose their names, magic, and memory. They're then sent to spend their lives as shades in the Eldritch Woods, except for Maya. And the mistress of those shades is the Great Witch. As you can see, this girl, too, has become a shade. I have no more words to express my utter disbelief at this situation. It's enough. Shall we return to the testimony?
Why do I have a feeling things are going to get a lot worse?
They're lucky that Phoenix is a defense lawyer who actually wants to find the truth. Because otherwise he could just be like, yep, it's her. It's not my client. Kill her.
These tasks you mentioned, were you acting on them this evening? Yes, I was told to come here and become Bazella.
Wait just a moment, witness. Did you just say, become Bazella? My, how absolutely dreadful.
Why would anyone be given such a terrible task?
Where do these shades come from?
Such a
Order!
mere line.
Order!
I'm sorry, I don't know why I was given such a task. All I can do is follow the orders I'm given. I can do that, then I can return. What do you mean, you can return?
Phoenix, you literally already know this information. Such is the nature of the shades. Neither human nor witch. Theirs is an existence spent in the shadows. Each of the shades is given specific tasks. Then, upon successfully completing such tasks, they are allowed to return to Labyrinthia as brand new people. But Lady Darklaw, how can they return as brand new citizens? When we already know who they were. For example, for instance, we all recognize the former flower seller standing before us. Now that, Lord, remains a secret. But a secret you will come to understand sooner rather than later. But not now. Never now. Simply baffling.
The one who gives us our tasks is the Great Witch. That would be you, Lady Darklaw. I mean, oh, magnificent one. Mommy.
While this explanation is wrought with much I cannot comprehend, I request the witnesses add it to their testimony.
Okay. Okay.
Hold it!
Alright.
So about these tasks, can you give us any other examples? The Shade's task must never be discussed with others, no matter what. She says that even though she just finished telling us all about her secret task.
Incidentally, do you perhaps remember when you arrived back in town to carry out your orders?
Well, not really. My memory is still a little fuzzy.
Say, didn't Kira only just recently become one of those shade thingies?
Still, I failed my task tonight.
Come to think of it, when Luke and I had our little run-in with Kira, I remember being blown clear across the marketplace. But I never saw any explosives or gunpowder.
Maybe Kira was given the task of blowing you to smithereens, Nick.
And we're done. Getting back to this testimony. I'm sure there's something here that just doesn't add up.
I need someone to ask, how did you decide what tasks to give? Why did you give her this task?
Why would they do that? Why would they just say the same things? You really don't have any recollection of your old flower selling self, do you? I don't.
When a witch becomes a shade, they lose all memory of their past life.
That they lose their memories? But why?
And yet, you still have some grasp of the concept of magic, do you not, Witness? Let me spell it out for you. Magic does not exist in the Eldritch Woods.
Oh, but there are actually lots of things back in the forest that I have not seen in this town. There are things there you haven't seen here? Like really huge machines, that sort of thing. There's one that spits out fire with such amazing speed, and then it expels these huge flames of gray smoke.
A machine that spits fire? Never have I heard of such a thing. Are you certain that these machines of which you speak are not simply magic?
You know, now that you mention it, I don't think anyone from this town can actually see those of us from the forest.
But they can't see you. Could it be something like that robe?
How can such a thing even be possible without magic?
Objection.
Miss Darklaw, if I may interrupt for just a moment. What is it, Inquisitor Layton? Through your testimony just now, we've all come to understand the process of how one becomes a shade. However, I was hoping you could perhaps elaborate on one additional point. Namely, what exactly is the purpose behind the shades? So good, thank you. If you wish to know our purpose, there are certain other things you must first understand. Once you've done that, the answer should be quite clear. Isn't that right, Defender?
The purpose behind the shades.
Rest assured, you will not get the answer from me. As the saying goes, the witch is in your court, Defender.
What?
Sounds like Darklaw's challenging me to figure this out.
Yeah, she's been doing that.
Challenge accepted.
I gotta stop being so hateful about this game.
It's kind of feeding me. Ooh.
Okay.
Is it a person?
Okay, here's my guesses currently. You can tell me which one you think doesn't make sense. Famalia. Yep. Or Demir?
Why?
They're invisible. And they're sort of like familiars, if you think about it.
How is this relevant to the purpose of the shades?
That's a great question, Claire. It's a fucking
What
phenomenal
other evidence
question.
can you present from like the people list?
Nothing. I use the hint coin, Claire. It's something from the spell list.
But I thought you could also go to the people list. Oh, they're both locked off. Okay.
It's something.
Never mind.
It's a spell. It's a spell. Oh,
Is
yeah,
it-
Claire, you're a little robot-y.
A robot-y. Okay.
Yeah.
I might be able to fix this. I think it's the last one.
You think it's Grandworm? Why? Claire? I can't hear Claire. I'm just gonna start talking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Am I
I
still
can.
robot-y?
No, you keep talking.
Hello, I'm no longer a robot. I know how to fix this.
That's true. You are no longer a robot. Why do you think it's Grandworm?
Excellent. Cause like, it's the only thing that to me says purpose. Like, what other than to like summon the great dragon that's response? I don't know.
It could be linked to the legendary
I don't
fire.
have an idea.
That's true.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, what is the purpose other than to like make sure the legendary fire doesn't happen again or something like that?
Is it faithful? Because I don't know. You get sleepy
What?
when you go through the fire. It's not gold ore, I don't think, unless they're making gold.
Oh, what were the vats? What was the color of the vats?
Oh! It was red and blue. So wait, is it literally the gold?
Why?
Because what if they're using... It's transmutation. They're doing alchemy bullshit. Right? Like... It could be that.
That is a good argument.
It's the best argument I have.
Okay, what are the other ones? This says transmutation spell. What do the other ones say?
Vanishing spell.
Vanishing.
Inferno. Yeah, I saved
Inferno.
already. Don't worry.
Save state. Thank you.
I already saved this screen. Don't worry.
Shadow familiar.
That's
Don't-
the other one to me that it could be.
Portal.
Why?
Wait a minute. Oh no.
Instant
Not
sleep
instant
spell.
sleep.
I'm
The Great Fire Dragon.
my current best bet. Here's the three I'm putting forward: Goldor, Famalia, and Grandworm. My best guess is Famalia because purple. Because purple.
I think it's Godor.
You think it's Godor because transmutation, right?
No, not Goldor. Godor.
Why do you think it's Godor?
Now hear me out. This is gonna be ridiculous.
I will hear you out because this game's ridiculous. Absolutely. Tell me it, Claire. Pitch me.
I think the purpose is to find someone to bring them from the outside world into this world to help whatever the fuck. And they do that by making portals to drag people in, such as the every one of these protagonists. And I think it's the Shades doing it. And I think that's the point.
You think they're trying to portal into the real world?
I think they're trying to portal real people in to help them defeat the witch.
I see.
That's my best. That's the best answer I can give you that like somehow
Sure.
answers purpose.
Sure. I see what you're saying. Now, please consider my argument of Famalia.
Yep.
When they go into the real world, they look kind of like the things in Famalia, in the Famalia page. It's purple. They're wearing purple robes. Shadow familiars. They kind of seem like shadow familiars. That's my guesses for Famalia. It
Why
seems
is
the
the
most
purpose?
them-coded. Like, their shades.
You're
it's
playing the game.
shades. What?
You're playing the game. I leave it to you. Do Familia.
I'm doing Famalia first.
Objection.
Holy shit!
Are you fucking
I'm
with
a
me?
fucking genius! Ah!
You know what? I'm happy. I'm happy. Thank you, Bree. I'm so interested. I'm so interested to learn why, because I have no fucking idea. Oh.
Purple power!
I love that your argument was it's purple.
And I was right! It's purple!
Okay. Something that doesn't exist. I have a feeling no one is going to like the answer I'm about to give, and it will probably end up shaking this town to its core.
Phoenix, I had a similar feeling.
But I've got to tell them. The truth has to come out. Since I arrived here in Labyrinthia, there's been no shortage of really strange events. Ignace, Demir, Godor, Goldor, and now Grandworm.
The mere command of magic is in itself a crime, is it not?
In this town, witches are arrested and made to participate in witch trials. They are then sentenced to death by fire. But none of those witches actually died. That supposed death by fire wasn't real. And neither is magic. It doesn't really exist.
Oh my god. What are you saying, Defender?
The Eldritch Woods apparently contain some rather large machines unlike anything that exists within Labyrinthia. Machines that emit fire and produce large plumes of smoke. On top of it all, the citizens of Labyrinthia are not able to see said machines.
It sounds like nothing more than magic.
Yes, that's exactly it, Your Honor. Miss Darklaw, magic doesn't really exist in this town. That's the answer, isn't it?
Magic does not! What utter nonsense! It seems we have finally arrived at the stunning conclusion. The secret behind Labyrinthia. What? What? I think it may have been that we just had to choose one of the spells in the grimoire, and it could have been any.
I also actually think that is true.
I think that might be true. Order! Order, I say! What is the meaning of this?
It sucks. It means that all of the magic you've seen in this town was nothing more than an illusion created and put into motion by the Shades.
But, Defender! The witches, we have clearly seen them use magic! Let us take a moment to think carefully about the systems employed by the Shades. Systems? What is essential in order for a witch to use magic?
The witch must possess a Talia Magica and must say an incantation in order to cast a spell.
And the spells able to be cast are determined by the scepter's magic gems. Now, what do you think is the purpose of placing such requirements on the use of magic? What do you mean, purpose? These requirements are not there to allow the user to cast magic. Rather, the reality is they are there to inform the Shades of who should be using magic. It is possible that witches were always being closely observed by the Shades. That's why they donned these robes, to appear hidden until they were needed to create magic. Create? Indeed. There are all kinds of spells within this tome. It would be quite troublesome if something I clicked too quickly.
Yeah, it would make the Shade's job that much more difficult, for sure. That makes so much sense, Professor.
Precisely so. That is why it was imperative that a certain restriction be placed on the use of magic.
Ah, you're referring to the Talea Magica, right, Professor?
Of course! No wonder the scepter could contain only 2 magic gems. Then there's the incantation. What would happen if a witch could simply whisper the incantation quietly to herself, or not even say it at all? Boy, that'd be so cool. I'd be casting spells all day long and no one would ever see it coming.
Maya, we spent an entire trial proving that you weren't a witch, remember? The witches didn't give some sort of signal. Then there would be no way for the Shades to know when to quote-unquote cast the spell.
Right you are, Mr. Wright. The incantations were a way of telling the Shades when the witch was ready to use magic. What on earth? Never did I think these requirements could have such a purpose. How do invisibility cloaks work? If there's no magic!
Science.
Now, let's think back to the previous events leading up to today that have involved magic. Our first encounter with magic was the use of the spell Ignaze a few nights ago.
It's not the first encounter.
A spell like this was nothing more than a flame spewed from a machine being used by the Shades. Then that means Demir.
A spell that makes the caster disappear? No doubt about it. It must have been this robe.
Next is the incident with Goldor, the spell that transmuted me into a gold statue. While I understand this may sound a bit absurd, I can only surmise. That the Shades created a gold statue in my image, took me and left it in my place the instant the incantation was uttered, and grabbed my ass for good measure.
Professor, that's no more absurd than anything else that's happened so far.
We can therefore conclude that all of the magic in Labyrinthia was created in a similar vein. What do you say to that, Miss Darklaw? I'd expect nothing less from you, Inquisitor Layton. At an even time, there were between 5 and 10 witches in town. All of the witches were accompanied by Shades at all times. She sounds like she's explaining... It's like she's explaining a murder mystery, like dinner, like how they did it, like it's like she's explaining.
But she's not explaining the mystery.
You're
she's
a robot.
Explaining how the actors set up. Oh, fuck up! Damn it!
That's so funny. Yeah, it is like she's explaining how the actors set it up. It isn't true. It's a total fabrication. We made it up. You know, that fucking video. That's what's happening right now here. And it's making me feel insane. This is how seances are fake.
Am I better again?
Nope, you're worse, actually. You're like the same or worse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's so funny. I can't... So what I'm getting from this is that the invisibility cloaks are just... They're fake, right? They actually work, so they're technically not fake. but they're technology. They're like camouflage technology or some shit. Like, it's technology. Why? I think I know what's about to happen next, and I think it's that the storyteller was never actually telling the story. This was never like a book or some shit. Like, this is a book. They're in a book, but it's like the storyteller wasn't writing the story. He was like writing the script of and telling the shades what to do. It's like if you were reading a fantasy book, right? And then partway through the fantasy book, they say, actually, all the magic in this fantasy book was all technology. And the guy who said this was destiny was just like telling you it was destiny, and there was a bunch of little guys saying, I'm gonna make it destiny. How you doing,
Okay,
Claire?
I have to be better now, right? Am I good?
You sound good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think it was. Anyways, yeah. This is ridiculous. I just want to say, what the fuck was the first scene with the witches flying and the statues coming to life in the real world?
I think we're gonna get around to that shit. Because if that was Darklaw, which is what this is implying, she was using magic in the real world.
Also, this is magic.
Yeah, I think that's also worth noting, is that invisibility cloaks are magic.
This is... Yes, exactly.
Also, I love that their best thing for what's a super technological explosion machine is a fucking... like, fucking dynamite from fucking blast mining. Anyway, okay. Being in a storybook is
swear
magic!
to God. Fen, what? Okay, spoilers for Hunter x Hunter, kind of. What?
I think Fen actually cares about spoilers
fucking...
for Hunter x Hunter, Claire.
No, Fen's past this point.
Oh, okay.
Greed Island. This is just fucking Greed Island. Like, if it's what I think it is. I won't even say why, so then it's not a spoiler.
Sure. Okay.
No, unless I will. Maybe I will say. Do you know what I mean, Fen? Do you know what I'm trying to say? If you know what I'm saying, then anyone who's watched or read Hunter x Hunter knows what I'm saying.
Fen agrees. Secret gated community in the woods of England. Like, what the fuck? Possibly. Who knows? Okay. It was easier than you would think.
How did they change their memories?
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. That's gonna be a potion, which are real, by the way. Alchemy, totally real.
And aren't magic.
Not magic. How did... Oh my god, they made a fucking golden fucking goat or whatever. And then she thought she lost her best friend. That's crazy.
Oh my god.
It was easier than you would think. You see, the shades living in the Eldritch Woods total in the hundreds. It was simply a matter of having each of the shades operate in shifts in order to watch over each of the witches within the town. I must say, Lady Darklaw, that is quite a number of shades. It was not only those who fell victim to the flames that were turned into shades, but their victims, too, were made permanent residents of the Eldritch Woods. Then, those two shady thieves from before were turned into shades? Ah, yes, you mean Robs and Mugs. Despite their dubious appearance, those two were a couple of my best shades.
Shady thieves turned into shades. The stuff writes itself.
I cannot believe what I've heard.
Me neither.
However, there is still one thing I do not understand just yet. Just one? And what would that be? As has just been explained, we have established that there is no possibility of magic being real. But replacing me with a gold statue to give the illusion of transmutation, for example, well, it sounds simple enough. I myself, and presumably also Miss Fey, have no recollection of this replacement actually taking place. Hey, that's right! Professor got all bling-blingy before I could even bat an eye. It begs the question, how and when was the statue created, let alone used to replace me? That is true!
The same goes for Godor. It's supposed to create a portal between two green-colored walls.
Perhaps that is exactly why the spell can only work on green walls, Mr. Wright.
Still, it'd be impossible for the Shades to get those portals ready so quickly.
You got it? Yeah. I agree. If we take a moment to think, we can see that all of these spells have one strange thing in common.
A thing in common?
Yes, indeed. Almost as if some time between the start and the end of the incident was unaccounted for. Furthermore, any memory I might have had regarding the incident seems to have simply disappeared in the process. I've got it, Nick! It's just like what happened to Kira. She's got absolutely no memory of her life in Labyrinthia before the trial, right?
Yes, I do not remember this Kira which you speak of.
And, oh yeah, when you really think about it, doesn't it seem super weird how the Shades are able to return to town if they complete their tasks?
You're right, Maya. I mean, the townsfolk are bound to remember some things about them, right? Like how Miss Kira here threw a major hissy fit in court and was barbecued for being a witch. What a way to describe that.
Eloquently put, Mr. Wright! Hence, we cannot yet conclude that this entire illusion was primarily accomplished through the use of machinery. Simply put, there must have been some way of affecting the memories of all those within the confines of this town. Missing time and lost memories? Now that is interesting, Inquisitor. You are correct. There is, in fact, a secret that lies within the depths of the Eldritch Woods.
This is what I was thinking, Fen.
Eloquently put, I approve of your use of the misogynist implications of hissy fit. She really is quite hysterical. Something that people of this town cannot see. Something that can rob people of their time and memories. 'Tis the very thing that connects all of what you've heard tonight. 'Tis a secret of monumental proportions.
And let me guess. 'Tis a secret that cannot be revealed by the mistress of the Eldritch Woods. Is that right?
Yes, an excellent deduction, Defender. Witches' souls wander astray within the Eldritch Woods. Until tonight I thought this nothing but a mere fairy tale told to children. But it has become clear that a seemingly large organization lies within that forest, and that my job is meaningless.
For real?
The Witch's Court is the border between this world and the other world.
Then that means in this world, you're Labyrinthia's High Inquisitor while also being mistress to the Shades in the other world, otherwise known as the Great Witch.
May I intervene for just a moment, Mr. Wright?
Sure.
In all honesty, there's still something that sticks out as a little odd. Particularly in Miss Darklaw's previous testimony.
Did you say the previous testimony? Ugh, I'd already pushed that out of my head.
Bro, that's not a good way to be a lawyer. There was one vital truth that we managed to take away from that testimony. You mean that magic does not truly exist in Labyrinthia? Indeed, quite the vital, albeit shocking truth. However, there is one more truth hidden within that same testimony.
There's something else in that testimony.
Robot. Claire?
Yeah.
Okay. You dealing with it?
Yeah. Is
Cool.
that any better?
Nope, same.
Is that any better?
Nope, same.
I don't know what's going on.
Is it a VPN thing?
I turned it off, so I thought it would be.
Weird.
That's so strange. Oh well, Discord is.
It's difficult to understand you, Claire. Yep. I love the idea that this judge is only for witch trials. There's a separate judge for the rest of the court system. They don't have a court... Do they have a court system? Do any non-witch related crimes happen here? And if they do they just execute them? Like, not drop them in the fire, execute, just kill them? Like, death can still happen here. The fucking alchemist killed himself. Like, are they just put in the fucking stocks and then people throw tomatoes at them and it's like, whatever, like medieval shit? Like, I don't understand. Truly don't understand.
Is it still bad?
It seems fixed.
Okay.
Let's cut the hands of thieves level medieval shit, yeah.
I'm just like, there's no crime. There's no crime. You can't do crime here. There's...
Oh!
Like...
You're roboting again, a little bit, here and there.
God damn, okay. Seems to be an internet issue.
You're hearable right now.
I am?
Yeah, right now.
Okay, yeah, it seems to be an internet thing. I don't know why. Okay, let's get through this and take a break.
Yeah.
There's something else in that testimony. I must have checked the court record more times than I can count, but I didn't find a single other contradiction.
Have you forgotten already, Mr. Wright? When there is no evidence left, we have but one more weapon at our disposal with which to uncover the truth. Oh, hey, I've got it, Nick, since you don't. Remember, in a witch trial, you can cross-examine two witnesses at the same time.
God. Hey, that's right. I completely forgot. Being able to have a look at two testimonies side by side is bound to turn up a contradiction somewhere.
And that contradiction should provide us with a much-needed clue.
I'm not entirely sure where the professor is going with this, but believe in his judgment. Besides, if we're going to blow this case wide open, it's gotta be worth a shot.
Very well. We will now take a closer look at Lady Darklaw's previous testimony. This is it, Miss Darklaw's previous testimony. There's a glaring contradiction between this piece of testimony and the others. Ready yourself, Mr. Wright. Ooh, this one's fun. I'm gonna try and do this one.
Okay.
Shades live outside the realm of those who dwell within life, relating to them and notice the Great Witch. When all this child becomes shades, live their lives in the woods. The venerable mistress assigned us her task. She was the Great Witch. I am not a witch, nor am I a wandering spirit. There is but one true purpose. I'm confused. Doesn't feel like there's a contradiction here.
What are you trying to prove?
I'm trying to find a contradiction between what Darklaw's saying up here and one of these statements.
I don't know if that's what we're trying to do here.
That is explicitly what we were told we are trying to do.
Oh.
We were explicitly told that is 100% what we were trying to do.
Okay, let's see. Shades live outside the realm of those who dwell. However, the answer to them, I'm not as the Great Witch. Shades live in the woods. Not that one. Okay.
Fuck it. The game's not playing fair, I'm not playing fair. Okay, it's this one.
Okay.
So I thought it was this one. Nope, I was wrong.
Contradiction between Miss Darklaws is right there.
Mr. Wright, please wait a moment. Perhaps you would be better served not leaving this up to chance, would you not agree?
But Professor, I could have sworn that was it.
Well, if anything is going to contradict Miss Darklaw's testimony, you'd think it'd have to come from Kira. She only got 2 statements. If it's not one, it's got to be the other. Technical term is process of elimination, Nick.
My god. Gee, thanks for the pro tip, Maya.
Mr. Wright, please take a moment to think this through carefully and try again.
Got it, Professor.
Very well, we'll now take a closer look at Lady Darklaw's previous testimony. This is it, Mrs. Darklaw's previous testimony. There is a glaring contradiction between this piece of testimony and the others. Ready yourself, Mr. Wright. Yeah. But... how is there a contradiction?
Oh, venerable mistress.
What?
Venerable mistress.
How is that a contradiction?
That's the only thing I can think of.
There isn't.
Nick, you bag of rusty nails, lint for brains.
Nick, you bag of rusty nails, lint for brains, idiot child, loser man.
Objection.
Great. Your Honor, there's obviously a huge discrepancy between these 2 pieces of testimony.
They say the same thing.
Miss Darklaw stated that she is known as I knew it was this. Known as the Great Witch. However, according to Miss Kira's testimony, Miss Darklaw was her venerable mistress, the Great Witch. I was fucking right.
That is correct. She was the Great Witch. Note Miss Kira's use of the past tense. That's not a contradiction! Something can have been true in the past and also now!
No, but the thing is, if it was present tense, she wouldn't be a venerable mistress, is what they're saying, which is
No,
bad. It's not a good...
No, they're saying Kira wouldn't have said was. They're saying Kira would have said she is our venerable mistress.
Yeah, that's true.
Past tense, I am afraid my grammar is not quite what it used to be. I never went to school. May I ask what you mean?
It's simple. Miss Darklaw was mistress to the Shades, or as they also called her, the Great Witch. Therefore, she is no longer the Great Witch.
She is not the Great Witch. Witness, is this true?
Huh?
It is as you have heard, my lord. I relinquished my position as Great Witch in order to fulfill the objective of this task. What would that objective be again? That would be the assassination of the storyteller, Your Honor.
Witness, at the beginning of this trial, you stated that you came to town in order to complete your task, didn't you? What's more, you said that you were going to summon the fire dragon to do it. Now this task, it wasn't Miss Darklaw here that gave it to you, was it? It's the fucking storyteller. No, it wasn't.
No, it's the cat.
Well, it's the cat, isn't it?
So then, the most pressing question is, who was it that gave you that task? Who told you to come to Labyrinthia and assassinate the storyteller? And she's gonna say Espella.
I cannot tell you, no matter what. Even worse. Alright, so Darklaw isn't the Great Witch anymore. Which must mean the mastermind behind this entire thing is...
It would seem the defense has worked it out as well. Mr. Wright, you know who really gave Miss Kira her task tonight, do you not? Defender, I ask that you enlighten the court. Show us who really gave the witness her task to assassinate the storyteller. Okay, now. We're saving. There's 3 options that it could be.
obviously Foxy.
Yes, obviously the vigilantes. No. It's Eve, the storyteller, or a Spella, right? I'm using a hint
The game
coin
wants
just
you
in
to
the hopes of
pick
cut one of
a
those out.
Spella.
Okay, it's cut out a
Eve.
Spella. So it's Eve.
Great. It is Eve.
Take that!
Nope,
It's not Eve.
it was not Eve.
So it was the storyteller.
We're about to
See if
lose,
it's-
Claire.
Hey, just see if, because sometimes it takes like a screen or two.
As usual, Defender, the only thing I can see you pointing out is your innate inability to
Never mind.
currently point things out. What did you say, Judge? The fuck did you say? That's crazy. What did you say?
Take that!
The storyteller?
We're talking about someone with the authority and power to replace the Great Witch, someone who calls the shots. I can't think of anyone else that meets those criteria except for the storyteller himself.
Preposterous! Then that would mean... Exactly, Your Honor. It means that the storyteller gave this final task to Kira himself. He was, in short, responsible for his own assassination. What? Order in the court! But for what purpose? Why would he plan his own assassination? That I cannot say, Your Honor. However, the final chapter of the story does tell of his inevitable death. While he signed this task to Kira himself, it is perfectly natural that he would do so. However, what is not natural is your behavior tonight, Miss Darklaw. What was unnatural about the High Inquisitor's behavior? You were once the head of all the Shades, and yet tonight you tried to interfere with the storyteller's plan. You rendered Miss Kira unconscious and locked her away in the belfry of the bell tower. That, to me, seems like the activity of someone aiming to put a stop to his plan altogether. Indeed! Lady Darklaw, what would be the reason for such behavior? I leave that to you, Mr. Wright.
Based on what we've seen in this trial, the defense believes Miss Darklaw's reason for covering up her actions tonight can only be attributed to one thing. And that thing we'll talk about when we come back.
Yep, we gotta go. We will be back.